Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to the video. Now the vehicle sitting behind me today is a 2020 Mitsubishi Outlander that is absolutely stuffed full of mucky ice right now, and the interior is pretty gross too, so let's take a closer look at it. Alright, well as you can see, we got another blast of winter recently, and as we look at the Outlander on this foggy morning, it's pretty easy to tell that the streets have been a mucky mess again as the snow melts, and unfortunately for me, all of it seems to have ended up in the wheel wells of this vehicle, and of course it then froze solid overnight, so I've got my work cut out for me with the 2+ inches of solid ice here, though moving to the interior and it looks like a wild animal has been living in here, as besides the colossal mess, some of the seat belts have been completely chewed through. I'll have more on that later in the video, but for now, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I post a new video like this every week, and if you've got the bell on, you'll never miss out on one. Okay guys, well I'm definitely looking forward to blasting all of that muck off with the pressure washer, so as always, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Alright, well getting to work with the pressure washer now, and yes, I've already gone ahead and cracked open the hot water line feeding my pressure washer so it mixes with the cold water and I get warm water from the wand, which will help to cut through the ice better. But I did also want to mention that this is only my second time detailing any sort of Mitsubishi vehicle, so I'm very curious to see the overall build quality on it today. Now as I continue to blast ice out of the wheel wells here, I'm sure some of you are wondering why I didn't let the ice melt in my heated garage before I started working on it, and the simple answer is because I didn't have the luxury of leaving it for about 4 hours so it could all melt off. The owner dropped it off early in the morning and I got right to work on it so I could get the vehicle back to her as soon as possible. Now as I give you a close-up look here, you can probably already tell that the liners here are carpeted, so that makes it even harder to get the ice blasted out because it adheres to the textured surface better than if it was just smooth plastic, so this is definitely about the worst situation possible. starting on these dirty wheels now, and I'll be using the small version of my wheel and rim brush today since the spoke pattern is so tight. But besides working great on wheels to get down into the barrel, these brushes also work great around your engine bay as it can easily reach down into all the tight little spaces. So be sure to give them a look over at detailgeekautocare.com, where the large brush is also available. Okay, with the vehicle washed and dried, it's time to get to work on the floor mats and the trunk liner, which as you can see is covered in Cujo's hair. So I'll start by using the lily brush to grab the majority of the hair, and then I'll follow my usual process and get some of my carpet solution sprayed on, agitate with the drill brush, and will then just blast it clean with the pressure washer. Alright, well it's time to get to work on cleaning the interior, and the first step here is to get the seats removed, as there's quite a bit of dog hair and other grime I wouldn't have been able to reach with them still in the vehicle, most of which is on the passenger side this time, which to be honest is a little bit unusual. Moving to the back now, and I'm sure you've already guessed, but this Mitsubishi has that super cheap Velcro-like carpet that is very difficult to get clean, and the only thing that could make it worse is if it was covered in dog hair. So safe to say, I've got my work cut out for me here. Now as I start on the back of the third row seats here, which appear to have been used as Cujo's scratching post, I figured I'd update you on my thoughts on the build quality of this Outlander, and I'll be brutally honest here, it's really not good. Besides the horrendously bad carpet, the seat backs are even worse, and seeing the thin piece of particle board used as the backing, in my opinion, goes even lower. But as if that wasn't enough, when I disconnected the battery earlier, I found that it was located directly underneath the air intake, which made the simple task of disconnecting it very challenging. So between the design flaws and cheap materials used, it's one of the lowest build qualities I've seen in a vehicle for quite a while. Now with the carpet vacuumed, I went ahead and flipped up the second row seats and got a nice little surprise here as all the kids' snacks, garbage, and half-eaten pretzels have collected under here. So after gathering up what I could by hand, I'll vacuum the rest up. Okay, well it's time to get to work on the seats now, and you'll notice that they're a combination of leather and suede, and I know I've seen a lot of comments asking about how to clean suede or Alcantara, as it is a little more delicate than typical upholstery, so really the only difference in how I tackle this is that I'm only going to use my soft white drill brush, as the medium green one would be a little too aggressive, and in terms of extracting, I'll just follow the same process I usually do. Alright, starting on the back seats now, and it's time for this week's members question, which comes from Ryan, and it's, can you use your APC at heavy strength on carpet floor mats, or do you have to use carpet solution? I always see you using carpet solution. So the quick answer to that is yes, you can absolutely use all-purpose cleaner on carpet, upholstery, or floor mats. However, the important thing to note is that APCs tend to be a little bit alkaline, which isn't usually an issue, but depending on the stain or substance you're trying to remove, it can actually set the stain. So the more ideal product to use is a dedicated carpet and upholstery cleaner, as it's typically going to be more pH balanced and should mitigate that risk for you. Here's what the Bissell pulled out of the Outlander today, and just like Mike's cooking, it's pretty gross. Moving to cleaning the interior trim, and while I didn't need to use APC everywhere, the passenger door sure needed it, as the embedded dirt at the bottom would be pretty difficult to loosen up without it. So after blasting it with steam, I'll simply wipe the door down with a slightly damp microfiber towel and then follow up with a dry one. Turning to the leather now, and for that I'm using my new Detail Geek leather cleaner, which you should hopefully be seeing soon, and my leather brush to get them clean. And while I do, I figured I'd answer a question I'm sure some of you have, and that's in regards to what animal is responsible for chewing up nearly all of the seatbelts in this vehicle. And well, it turns out it's the owner's dog, and when she told me that it's a pit bull, I wasn't in the least bit surprised, though I'm still pretty shocked that it was capable of that level of destruction, considering seatbelts are a really strong material. Turning back to the exterior with a product you've seen a couple of times, and that's my super secret spray, which is a silica spray sealant. And while I don't have a name for it yet, I do know that you guys are going to love it. Not only is it really easy to apply and remove, but the shine and hydrophobicity it leaves behind is a thing of beauty. Now with the inside of the back window here having all kinds of dog slobber on it, I wanted to show you how well my glass cleaner and waffle weave towel combo works to cut through it. So after spraying some cleaner directly onto my towel, a few quick wipes later, and the window is perfectly clean and streak free. Alright guys, well 11 hours later and all the muck is gone and Cujo's mess has been completely undone. Now if you guys enjoyed this transformation, make sure you smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on a future video, enjoy the guitar outro, and I'll see you guys in the next one.